Hello everyone. I really wanted to discuss this topic for quite some time. I talk to a lot of buyers, sellers, and investors on a daily basis, and the word recession is thrown around a lot. I mean, a lot. On an everyday, daily basis, I hear this word. And it causes a lot of anxiety in buyers, sellers, and investors alike, and it hinders them from making decisions. So, I really wanted to take the time to talk about recession and see where the market is today. So before we go further, I want to define what recession is. According to the dictionary, recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. So guys, if after that definition, you can clearly see that it defines it as a decline in 2 successive quarters. So let's look at some numbers right now to see where we stand as far as the GDP is concerned. But before we go there, I want to talk about what GDP is, for those of you that don't know. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product, and it really means investments that are happening abroad, investments that are happening here. It means government investments, private consumerism, all that pretty much summed up together. But it really means is the production and the consumption that's happening here in this country. So we're going to look at a government website for that. So as you can see, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, Q1 2019, there was a 3.2% increase in GDP compared to Q4 2018. So that means there's probably no recession coming in Q2 or Q3 of 2019. That is for sure. The point is that recession is not an overnight thing. And before a recession happens, there are signs, lots of signs. As there were lots of signs in the last recession, but it's a separate story now that we chose not to look at those signs. So where is this notion coming from? Where is this talk coming from? What I feel is that it's coming from people are making assumptions from the market stabilizing, because we've seen in the last 6 months that a lot of property prices haven't gone down, but properties are not really selling at above asking price as they were the year before. If you watched my last video, you saw we compared the month of April of this year to the month of April from last year. We saw, although there were more units sold, the average asking price, the homes sold at par or a little bit above asking price. So I feel people are taking those numbers, and they're also taking the days on market, where on average, last year homes were selling for 15 to 16 days. Now they're selling 23 days. So people are taking those numbers and equating it to a recession. Guys, that does not equal to a recession. So what I feel is happening here in the Bay Area is the market is definitely adjusting. And a big change that I'm noticing is, especially in new construction, is a lot of the builders and new construction folks are seeing where the buyer demand's out. They're noticing that a lot of the buyers are not really interested in the higher tier price point, and they're looking for starter homes that are close to $1 million or maybe a little under $1 million. I know that might sound like a lot of money to some people that are not in the Bay Area, but that's really not a lot of money here when it comes to real estate. So anyway, so the buyers are adjusting to that price point. And there's a term in microeconomics called economies of scale, and I honestly feel that's what's really happening here is construction is going up because the demand is rising. As we know, land is scarce here. There's not enough homes. So as construction is rising, the per unit cost of a home is declining. So what I'm noticing is here in the area is that homes that are newly constructed are having upgraded features for the same price of an older home. So if you were to compare this inner square footage, not the lot size, definitely the older homes have a bigger lot size. So if you're looking for a bigger lot size, the older homes are still going to be your option. But the newer homes are giving you upgraded, granite countertops, tile flooring, different options in the kitchen. In some cases, obviously double panel windows is a must, but there's upgraded features that are pretty much you can find in standard prices in new construction. I feel like that's another reason why we're seeing a lot of the homes that are in the upper tier, upper price point are sitting on the market longer, because you have homes that are now in the newer construction facilities or newer construction developments that are offering you more value, more for the buck. So that's what's happening. But you guys already know this is the Bay Area. There are all kinds of demands. The consumerism is very high here. So you're gonna see all kinds of tastes, and you're gonna see all kinds of buyers and all kinds of sellers. So it really depends on what you're looking for. So 2 pointers that I want you to walk away with today, if you got nothing out of this video, are: number 1 is, no, we're not going into a recession right now. And number 2 is that if you are looking to buy a home, now is an amazing time to be looking, because you have new constructed homes, as well you have older homes also on the market. So you have tons of options out there to make a deal and get the best for your buck. If this video was insightful to you guys, please don't forget to share, like, and leave us feedback, because we love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media channels to stay on top of your real estate game. Until next time, this is Karan Singh with Optimal Homes.